Horizon Forbidden West is the sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn, a game I really enjoyed in all the possible ways, and because it was revolutionary at the time with the combat and the setting and the story, and I'm a really big fan of science fiction stories, especially those that play with topics related to AI, so I was really happy to see a sequel for this game. Actually, it was one of my most anticipated games of last year. It was delayed until this year, and when I finally played it, I was really happy. It had like a lot of the same things from the last game, and improved upon a lot, like a bunch more. And it had a lot of aspects that it improved on the other game, especially with the combat and the mechanics and some of the machines you like go after. I think this game has a lot far more machines, and I think I really enjoy that. So I'm gonna go in and explain a lot of the things I liked about Horizon Forbidden West, and give my final opinion on the game. And I also have to say that I haven't finished the game yet because it's really long. If you want to see me play it, you can go look at some of the parts in the YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch. But it's a very long game. It's like 40 hours long, so I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but I could still say like some of my thoughts on like some of the gameplay aspects and some of the things that improved about the other one. But I think the story is really improving so far, and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm about halfway through, and I really liked it. So yeah, so let's go on with the protagonist. So Horizon Forbidden West follows Aloy, the protagonist from the last game, into a new chapter of her story. So at the end of the last game, I'm gonna spoil a little bit, so if you haven't played the game, like don't go further ahead because there'll be spoilers. So at the end of the last game, we kind of killed Hades, which is like the evil AI who wanted to reset and destroy the world. But we find out in the beginning of this one that Aloy didn't actually kill the AI. She actually sent it somewhere else because she was kind of like bamboozled by Silence, which is one of the other secondary characters. And then she goes on this like quest to save the world once again from an evil force called the Blight. And I think that like this game has really interesting topics, especially related to, you know, like the ancient ones, which were the people who designed the AI, and like the programs to reset the world. And it really expands upon that story in a lot of ways, and especially some new stories. So I'm gonna spoil a little bit more, but there's a plot with some like people from a planet that they escape to, like in the events like before the game, and that is one of the most interesting sci-fi stories I've ever like seen in any movie or game, because I really enjoyed like the multiplanetary aspect that Horizon Forbidden West introduces, which was completely absent from Zero Dawn. So we meet some new characters, kind of like villainous characters, and these characters like they add so much to the lore, which is very interesting. So if you really enjoy the lore of this one, this is going to be so much better. And yeah, that's one of the things I enjoyed the most. So in terms of style and tone, the game transports you to far more new locations. Like the places you explore in this one are far more like exotic and interesting than in the other game. I really enjoyed the other one, but this one like has a lot more to offer. So you got like oceans and caves and jungles. So it's kind of like making the most out of the Forbidden West setting, and it is so much more beautiful. And to be honest, the graphics are kind of the same as the other one. You can really feel it in some parts, like the new gen graphics from the PS5, but it doesn't really change much, save for some facial features, some like other aspects in the nature. But if you look at a frame from Horizon Forbidden West and Horizon Zero Dawn, you won't really notice much difference, which is kind of okay because it's kind of like the beginning of the new gen era of PS5 and Xbox Series X. But still, I think the graphics of both games are really good, so it's not really a complaint. I really enjoyed them. The gameplay is pretty much the same as Forbidden West. It has a lot of new weapons and enemies you have to encounter, also better strategies. There's like a really big mammoth boss that you have to battle like midways through the game, and it was very intense. And I love that battle so much, even though it took me a long time to beat it. So that's something I really enjoyed that improved over like Horizon Zero Dawn, because once you kind of like reach the Stormbirds and like the Thunderjaws, then you kind of like pretty much done everything. So this one introduces some really big enemies that you have to fight, and this game is like awesome with the mounts. So you have far more mounts, and you get to do a lot of more interesting stuff with them. So yeah, the gameplay improves a lot. It adds a lot of stuff. Although because I'm used to the previous game, it was really easy for me to ease back into the stuff. But I think for somebody this is their first Horizon game, it might be a little confusing. So I kind of like, because there's a lot of things that it can become overwhelming, especially with one of the board games. But it was a really fun mini game, but also really complicated to learn how to play. But I really enjoyed it. So yeah, like I said, the story increases like a lot of the tension. There's like a lot more plot elements that you have to follow. It's also like a lot more non-linear. You reach a point in the story where you have like different objectives, and you can kind of like go to them at your own pace, similar to Breath of the Wild, and that's something I enjoyed. And yeah, I really liked like this aspect of the story, and some of the other characters I feel like suffer from the same issues from Forbidden West. I mean, from Zero Dawn, like most of the side characters are not really that interesting or deep. Mostly just Aloy is kind of like the most fleshed out character, the most explored one, because she's basically the protagonist. And I wish they did the same with some of the other characters, and none of them really kind of like made me feel the same way, especially like the main ones like Silence. However, Dr. Elizabeth Sobek is an interesting character, which is kind of weird because she's a clone of Aloy, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, I think they should have improved a little bit more in the characters and like kind of like explore them a little bit more. So yeah, overall, I think I really like this game so much. It is really entertaining too. Like the side quests are really well thought out. It's a really good open world experience that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I think Horizon Forbidden West is a great game. Definitely one of the better ones of the year. I really enjoyed playing this until I also started playing Elden Ring too. So I'm gonna review that probably later. But it's a really good game too. But they're both great. I think both deserve the best stuff this month. So yeah. Anyways, I think those are most of my thoughts on Horizon Forbidden West. I think it's a fantastic experience. It is really entertaining. I haven't finished it, but I definitely plan to finish it because I really I'm very invested in the story. So that will be a great thing to do for this year. So anyways, so yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts so far. I think for now I'm gonna give it a 92 out of 100. I think it's a great game. It isn't perfect, but it's still a very enjoyable experience. A great AAA game with good gameplay, good settings, like very interesting mythology and lore. So if you want to explore a really fantastic world, I highly recommend Horizon Forbidden West. So yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts on it. So if you like this, go play it, and stay tuned for my Elden Ring review. So anyways, that's everything for today. Have a great one, everybody.